Unit 1, Personal Investigation. Section 1, Related Study, Photography Genres. Your presenter for today will be PK. Hello everybody, I hope you had a good half term, and I also hope that you and those close to you are doing well, as can be expected in this challenging time. Can't believe it's been 9 weeks, and we're at that point now where we've hopefully getting into a bit of routine, hopefully being able to kind of see where we can get some work done and can get some enjoyment out of the time that we've got. I've got a little favour to ask. We don't have 100% engagement from our photography students. And what I mean by engagement is not that you're all going off getting married. I mean that we don't have everybody kind of in contact with us or submitting work. I'd really, if you know somebody who's kind of like maybe avoiding photography or whatever it might be, try and encourage them from this point to get back in a work mode with photography, because from this point now, the 1st of June, the work we produce is stuff that goes forward for assessment. So it has an impact in our final grade. And it's better to do it over a longer period of time rather than not doing anything now and trying to rush it kind of towards the deadline dates. So if you're on group chats or anything like that, please just encourage them and say it's time to maybe check back in with whatever teacher they've got. If they've got any challenges, contact the teacher and see what we can do to help sort it out. So our presentation today is going to be around Unit 1, and Unit 1 is called Personal Investigation, and then we're going to focus specifically on our next section, which is going to be Related Study. And I've just realized something now that I've switched the camera on myself to record this, and I have just noticed that my t-shirt is the same as my cushions. And I am not going to go and get changed. It'll just have to be as it is. It's quite ridiculous. But anyway, so let me just move around the screen a little bit. Lucky for you, I'm going to be shrinking myself down a bit. I'm going to move this a little, because I just want to be able to have the presentation on screen at the same time. So hopefully this works. I think that'll be fine. So we're going to have the presentation all over here, and I'm not going to be pointing at anything because I can't reach that far. So, as I said, work assessed. So this year is divided up into 2 units, and the 2 units that we have are Unit 1, which is personal investigation, and that's worth 60% of your whole A level. Alright, so you can actually pass your A level on just that unit alone if you did really well. And then Unit 2 is externally set task. So that's how the whole year is made up. Unit 1, personal investigation. Unit 2, externally set task. Now, Unit 1, personal investigation, has 2 sections in it. The first section is related study, and that's worth 12% of your whole A level. Alright, so it's worth 24 marks, but it's actually 12% of your whole A level. And then we got the major project, which is worth 48%. Right? So these are big sections that we are starting on today, so please bear that in mind. The timescale for our Unit 1 is our related study will start today on the 1st of June, and it'll go up till the 1st of October. And our major project generally starts 1st of October, goes to 1st of February. But we will be possibly, depending on how things are situation wise, we will be altering it so that we might have a bit of a crossover. Because if you look at the first section, so section 1 of Unit 1, related study, that means it links, it's related to our major project. Now, what's really important is that, we're designing this, we're altering from what it used to be the previous years in photography, because we need to be flexible. So if we end up going to another lockdown phase, we need to be working in a way that's going to be suitable for you and your kind of accessibility. So what we're trying to do is that if we go to lockdown, that we still have got productive, practical work that's going to lead towards your exam rather than or not the exam, towards your result, rather than just saying, oh, just do something or photograph inside your house. So we're changing the course that it has been for the previous years. It's exactly what the exam board will be looking for, so there's no worry that way. We're just being flexible in our approach and being prepared for any eventualities. So the dates are 1st of June, we start this project, and then it should be finished by the 1st of October. Sounds like a long time, but obviously there's summer holidays in between and stuff like that. But, the sooner we start, the sooner we can move forward to the next project. Now, a very important point is this, right? It's really important that you take note of this now. No work from this point on that you're producing for photography and all of your other creative subjects, if you're doing them, like graphics or textiles or art, no work can be shared on social media. Okay? So please, please bear this in mind because it is work that goes to the exam board. And the exam board, have to say, well, somebody copied this off the internet or somebody copied this from another person who's doing A-level photography. All right, so please just bear in mind that none of it goes onto social media. Now, I kind of was at the allotment the other day and it kind of fell into my head there. Our process for our work is very similar to the planting cycle. You plant an idea, you end up feeding it with research and so forth, and then you water and kind of develops it, and the roots begin to explore, and then you harvest it by producing the final piece. And it was just for me, it was a clear analogy in my head of how the work for our creative subject and photography works in relation to the exam board. So what I mean, if we look at the development cycle or the assessment cycle, sorry, the assessment cycle is the four keywords that we use for grading and marking your work. And the first one being development. How does your project develop? Where is the journey it's going on? All relevant journey documentation, all right? So it's only stuff that's relevant to your topic. The exploration. How have you tried different techniques? How have you looked at different photographers? How have you kind of explored your idea? All right, built an experiment on an experiment on an experiment is exploration, cross-referencing it with other artists' work. And then the recording, it's how you document your work. All right, how you lay it out, how you present it, how you make those strong links between artist research and yours. And then the presenting. So how do you come across with your discussions? How clear are you? How concise are you? How articulate are you with your language that you're using? When you present your physical work, how does it appear? Have you made the right choices with the materials that you're using? So all of this is our assessment cycle, and it's just important for you to be aware of it. These are words that you've heard for the whole of last year or this year, right? Because they're on all of our projects, they're on all of our feedback, they're in our discussions, they were stuck to the table, but they're fundamental for you uh, in getting your grade at the end. It's because it's what we use on those assessment sheets. So let me just change slide. Apologies. So what are we going to do now? So we know our timescale, we know the structure for the year. Um, Now we're going to be looking at photographic genres. And this is what our project is going to be from now until the end of this part of the project, between now and the end of this term. So it's a term's worth of very valuable work. It's an independent research project. All right. I'm going to guide you through it and show you the requirements and give you guidelines timescale wise in when and what to do. So it's all laid out in this PowerPoint. And this PowerPoint is available also in the section, well, it'll be in a new section which will be in your class notebook titled Unit 1, and it'll be in a folder which is titled Related Study. So you'll get a new section, so it'll be, don't know where it'll end up, it'll be where we had section 1, 2, 3 and 4 in your folders, and now there's going to be one called Unit 1. Um, so the PowerPoint, as I said, you can get it there. We're going to do this project and it's over to you. You have to research and you have to pick the genre. So if remember, the word genre is a type of photography. right? It is a kind of a topic within the subject of photography. All right, you've done them already, right? A lot of them. You've done documentary, you've done landscape, you've done portraiture, you've done photo art. So a lot of them you've explored to a small degree, even though it might felt like a big project. But a genre is a very, very big, broad categorization within photography. Now, this part over here, research research leads to defined idea generation, and that defined can also be refined. Right? The more research you're doing now, the easier it is going to be for you to make that decision when it comes to your practical project. So let's have a look at some of the genres. Now I'm not going to read through this PowerPoint, give you something to do, but I'm going to show you how it's structured. So we have that idea of the introduction to documentary, what it is. Okay, you've got a fair idea. It's about telling a story with images, a factual story. And then we've got some subgenres, which we've got down the side here. So the subgenres are the subsections, the smaller brackets within it. All right, so you've got different ones from time lapse to candid to newspaper, editorial, all this. These are sub-genres. And within the PowerPoint, we've listed all of the genres and we've listed loads of photographers for you to go research, all right, giving you some ideas. We might update with some links to videos, but we actually want you to do the research. There are more documentary photographers than just these. Then you've got your landscape, right? We know what that is, and you've already done the subgenres, two of them there. Okay, some photographers, and you'll know more. But we're given these photographers as suggestions mainly because you will be able to find out more good quality information. So there'll be quantitative information as well as quality. Because yes, you can find different photographers on Pinterest, on Instagram, and all these places, but how are you going to be able to talk about them and their work, right? If they haven't got that information available. So we're giving you some guidelines of people to go and look at. We've got portrait, and again the subgenres, and these subgenres are important. I'll be coming to those in a few minutes. Right? So lots of photographers. We go to still life is a form of it. Photo art, you've already done that. You just finished it. Right? Got fashion, you got commercial and advertising, so kind of combined in together. All right, so there's lots there for you to choose from. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is a bit of thinking time. All right, you got to think about your interest in photography. Where is your interest? Where is your passion? Where is the desire to find out more information? Okay, so what genre would it be? You kind of now going to be getting to the decision making time of looking towards a topic that you're going to be working on. Also want you to think about the projects that are possible for you to do. All right. So let's say you're looking at landscape, you're looking at aerial photography. Well, realistically, have you got a license to fly a drone? All right. The laws have changed. Have you got it? Yes, you can do aerial photography in different ways, but you have to think of the practicalities of it. All right. Yes, you might like the idea of doing documentary photography, wartime kind of photojournalism, but realistic, you're not going to be going out into a war zone, right? So it's thinking about the areas of photography, the genres you're interested in, and then also thinking about the potential projects, right? So we don't want people choosing topics that they're not going to be able to do a project linked to it. You're not doing the project yet. We're just going to be picking genres that have a potential in the future. Now, this thinking time is important. So it's about going through those genres, looking at different photographers maybe that we've listed, doing some research. Because after that, all right, so your thinking time is kind of up until Friday. I think Friday is the 6th of June, maybe it's Saturday. All right, so this is a to do but not to submit task. All right, have a look at a few different genres. Read about some of the photographers. Search some videos. All right, let's not just all be just screen scrolling. All right, look at some videos as well. No need to write anything down. It's just you exploring your area of interest. If you think you know it already, good, but do please have a look at some of the others. You might find something different that you're interested in. So it's just about getting a better understanding of the different genres. Pick one, yeah, that you're most interested in. And I want you to do that by 6th of June. All right. So between now and then, allocate your 3, 4, 5, whatever amount of hours to just exploring the genres. Nothing to write down, nothing to record, but it needs to be done by the 6th of June, please. All right. So you've made that decision. What genre are you going to start looking at? Okay. Then moving on from that, all right. So from the 6th of June, I want you to create a PowerPoint and again do that link share, right? And you'll be given information where to share the link. I know there was some problems with the link edit, so when you go to share a PowerPoint, click on the option for anybody within St. Brendan's can edit this. Yeah, so do that one rather than anybody with this link. So then share the PowerPoint link with your teacher and try different methods of research if you can. Right, so don't just Google. Maybe do Google Scholar, right? Maybe do some reviews, look for some journals, right? I know it's challenging, we haven't got access to the library and so forth, but go on to Moodle and see what other journals what they have there. See what information that they've got on the um, library catalogue, right? There might be different bits and pieces you can find in there. Um, a big important point is, can we make these presentations size 12 font for the main bodies of text? And the reason being is that PowerPoint is automatically size 18 or size 22 font. And that's because it gets projected onto a screen. All right, we're doing coursework. All right, so where we had Photoshop A3 pages and we had that size 12 font, we got used to it. Now we need to do the same for PowerPoint. Okay, so remember these PowerPoints, you need to do them online. So go through the college email, use a PowerPoint online, because then they're shareable. But please, from this point on, size 12 font, really important. Um, and this is really important, what we call preparatory work, getting prepared. All right, and it's going to make things so much easier in September because then you're going to have to do a write-up task, about, like an in-depth piece of writing, all right, for this project. And this project is worth 12% of your whole A level, and it is related to the major practical project that you're going to be doing, right? The more you do now, the more interest you get, the more documentation, the more opinions and bits and pieces that you get about your genre, the smoother September is going to be. All right? We don't know what the situation for September is going to be in relation to movements and so forth, but our work-wise, we're going to be smooth, calm transition, and that's what we want for you. We want things to be as smooth as possible, but it does involve you getting that work done. Right, so the next couple of slides are a breakdown of what you should be doing task-wise over the next couple of weeks. All right, so this first of all is a breakdown of all of the slides. So I'm not going to read them. Well, I will read some of them just to clarify. So you got your slide one will be your title page. Put your name on it, put the genre, all right, and then related images. 4 mood boards, right? So 4 slides containing images linked to that genre, all right? I want photographers' names in there, all right? Just nice and small, put them in wherever it's on top of the text underneath, whatever it might be, or you can number them and put them on the side, don't mind. But I want a minimum of 16 images per page. All right, we discussed this as teachers and we found there was too many people just putting 1 or 2 images on and thinking that's a mood board. No, the mood board is about your whole genre. There's 4 of them, so you're going and getting a flavor for this topic. All right, I don't want all just war photography. I want lots of different subgenres within those 4 mood boards. Slide 6, all right, that's your definitions page. All right, so the definitions page for your genre includes some of the subgenres. Right, so those subgenres, you need to get those definitions. I don't mind if you want to do this, put the genre in the middle, do a spider diagram, a flow diagram, it's absolutely fine. Be as creative as you want. Not that I think Photoshop or PowerPoint is all that visually creative, but get those in, include some images, get some subgenres in there as well. All right, you can use the names and stuff from the PowerPoint, but want those definitions coming through. All right, then slide 7 and 8, you're going to take one subgenre, right, and you're going to do the title of it, and you're going to do 2 mood boards, right, and again 16 images with photographer's name. So if you think about it, we've gone from the genre, we've got a visual representation of all of the parts of that genre, So let's say documentary, and we'll loads of different images, all about documentary, right? Different types, color, black and white, you know, journalism, kind of all the whole variety. And then what you're going to have is you're going to have all your definitions of those genres, and then you're going to pick a subgenre. All right, you're going to pick one subgenre, and you're going to do two mood boards. So you're narrowing down your research, and then from that, you're going to pick an artist with a short biography, 8 to 10, 8 to 12 of their images. All right, so we're going further down, we're drilling down into a more refined research. So slide 10 and 11 is your subgenre, and then you're going to critically analyze artist number one, two of their images using the 5 C's. Right? Then you're going to subgenre artist number two, short biography, and then 8 to 12 of their images, and then 2 slides for critically analyzing two of their images. Right? So that subgenre would be the same for those two artists. Right? So you're really refining it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take a second subgenre. All right? You're going to have two mood boards again, 16 related images. Then you're going to critically analyze two of their images. Then you're going to go for the same subgenre. All right? So I just call it subgenre number two. And you pick another artist's biography, and then to critically analyze two of their images. All right? So it kind of works as a flow diagram. So those subgenres are really important. And then it's a third subgenre with some mood boards, an artist critically analyze two of their images, then the same subgenre, another artist, two of their images critically analyzed, right? So at the end of it, you're going to have three subgenres that you've investigated, and each of those subgenres, you're going to have critically analyzed two artists, and for each of those artists, you'll have critically analyzed two images. All right? So it sounds like a lot because I'm telling you, like 5 weeks worth of work in one go. So yeah, it sounds like a lot. But you're going to see the timescale on when the slides need to be done in a few minutes. Then what you're going to do is you're going to have slide 31, which is compare and contrast. And so maybe slide 31 is compare, slide 32 contrast, so whatever way you want to do it, but it's about you commenting on those subgenres and those artists. How do they link in? How are they different from each other? Here's an example how it's different. Here's an example how it's the same. And then you'll have your bibliography. And then slide 34 is a reflective piece of writing. What have you learned? What have you found interesting? Is there a kind of a linked project that you would like to do? So it's a reflective piece of writing. Really important because the exam would love to see reflective work. So where you're kind of commenting on what you have done, what you've experienced, what you've explored. All right. So it's that kind of like writing a conclusion. So as I said, there was a lot in those slides, but let's have a look at timescale. So you don't really do anything until the 6th of June, as in practical wise. You can, obviously, if you've decided it. So this is your timeline over here now. Then you've got slide 1 to 6, right? The 8th of June. That's literally just sourcing images, all right? So it's a couple of days and get it done. And then I'm not going to call those out. And you'll see kind of like, I'm not sure when term actually finishes, whether it's 12, 10, 12 to whatever, but kind of by the end of the term, we'd like you to have that kind of summative statement of what you found interesting, that reflective piece of writing. So breaking it down, right? Considering you would have 4.5 hours of lessons and 4.5 hours of homework time, it's not going to take you 9 hours per week to do the work that is set. If you go into flow and you go ahead and you get more done, absolutely fine. You know, your teacher will give you feedback as you go along. Remember those key things: the size of the font. Use this PowerPoint. Pull out those slides and just print them off or screen grab them and have them right there so you can reflect on it and you don't have to watch this video again. So research is going to give you knowledge, and with knowledge is idea generation for your topics. All right, this is personal investigation. Unit 1 is called personal investigation. It's over to you to explore. As we talked to you with the section 8, which is beyond traditions, we left it more for you to go and explore, for you to research, for you to pull out these ideas rather than being told what to do. And that's why we said the independent practice leans heavily into Unit 1 personal investigation, right? Because it's your topic, you choose it, you have to explore it. So, I think that is pretty much everything. Oop, just made it all disappear. So, why is the camera frozen? Anyway, at that point, I'm going to say goodbye, and if you have any questions, please email your teacher. Take care. Bye bye.